Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Om Shripad Punamun Supri Praj Kacharja Ashto Shri Srimad A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Raj Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopinath Sham Mukund Radha Kunigiri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Navadip Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Jamana Mai Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Welcome everybody to Caitanya Caritamrita reading His Holiness Jayādvaita Swami. It is Thursday, November 13th, 2025. We're beginning with CC Adi Lila, Chapter 17, Text 152. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Guru Maharaj, would you like to begin?
Okay. Prabhu Kahe Prashna Lagi Lama Tomar Sthani Kaji Kohe Agya Koro Ye Tomar Moni. The Lord said, "My dear uncle, I have come to your home just to ask you some questions." "Yes," the Kaji replied, "you are welcome. Just tell me what is in your mind." Prabhu Kohe, Go dukta cow, gabi tomor mata, Risha anna upajai, tate tehopta. The Lord said, you drink cow's milk, therefore the cow is your mother, and the bull produces grains for your maintenance, therefore he is your father. Pita mata mari cow, eba kon dharma, kon bole, koro tumi e mota vikorma. Since the bull and cow are your father and mother, how can you kill and eat them? What kind of religious principle is this? On what strength are you so daring that you commit such sinful activities? Purport. Everyone can understand that we drink the milk of cows and take the help of bulls in producing agricultural products. Therefore, since our real father gives us food grains and our mother gives us milk with which to live, cow and bull are considered our father and mother. According to Vedic civilization, there are 7 mothers, of which the cow is one. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu challenged the Muslim Kaji, what kind of religious principle do you follow by killing your father and mother to eat them? In any civilized human society, no one would dare kill his father and mother for the purpose of eating them. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu challenged the system of Muslim religion as patricide and matricide. In the Christian religion also, a principal commandment is, thou shalt not kill. Nevertheless, Christians violate this rule. They are very expert in killing and in opening slaughterhouses. In our Krishna consciousness movement, our first provision is that no one should be allowed to eat any kind of flesh. It does not matter whether it is cow's flesh or goat's flesh, but we especially stress the prohibition against cow's flesh, because according to Shastra, cow is our mother. Thus, the Muslims' cow killing was challenged by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Om Agana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshun Miditam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Mano Pistam Stapitam Jena Bhutade Swayam Rupa Kodamahyam Tadhati Shapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Tatapadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatan Vitam Stam Sajivam Advaitam Savadutam Rijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lulita Sri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hori Priye Vansha Kolpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindho Bhyevacha Patita Nam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Shadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this point Chaitanya Mahaprabhu picked up, not a point of deep philosophy, but ordinary human decency. The cow and the bull are your father and mother. How is it that you're killing your father and your mother? Srila Prabhupada typically focused on this point in so-called Hindu-Christian dialogue. That is to say, when he would speak with Christians, they might want to talk about some sort of theological concepts, but Prabhupada would stick to this point. Where's the question of higher theology when we're killing our father and our mother? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought this up with the Kaji. Any comments, questions?
There's something in the chat from Praveen Prabhu.
Yes.
Adel Mata Guru Patni Brahmani Raja
Patnika.
Danur Datri Tata Prithvi Saptaita Mataraha Smritaha.
Yes. This is the verse, the 7 kinds of mothers, Ado Mata, the birth mother, Guru Patni, the wife of the spiritual master, a Brahmani, the wife of a Brahmin, Rajapatnika. A Rajapatnika means the queen, Dhenu, the cow, Dhatri, the nurse, Tata Prithvi, and Mother Earth. So these are 7 mothers. There's another comment.
Yes. Murari Gupta Prabhu writes, Hare Krishna Maharaj, I've spoken with many Christians, and many have some piety and attachment to serving God, but they simply cannot see the problem with eating meat, even though they have pets they take to the vet when they are suffering. Why is that?
Ignorance and sinful life. Sinful life perpetuates ignorance. Ignorance perpetuates sinful life. This is their misfortune. It's very difficult when one is killing animals to understand what is what. Yes. I remember I was at a Ratha Yatra one time, somewhere in the West Coast. Was it the West Coast? No, maybe it wasn't. Anyway, I was at a Ratha Yatra. And at one of the booths, one of our new devotees was manning the booth. And some Christian couple had sort of zeroed in on him and were, I suppose, preaching the gospel or what have you. So I went over there and began speaking with them. And of course, this was my point. They were sort of, what was the word? Sort of Midwestern, corn-fed, wholesome-looking kind of people, strong, broad-faced fellow and his pert little wife. And I brought up this point with them, that what kind of religion is this in which you're killing your father and your mother, you're killing animals. And so they, Jesus ate meat and so on. And I brought up some counter argument. They brought up something. And the fellow walked away. And his wife was there. And I said to her, let me show you something. And we had some oxen. I guess it must have been the East Coast, because it seems to me they were brought from Gitanagari. And as we sort of approached, she said, oh, how beautiful. What kind are they? I said, they're brown Swiss. And she said, oh, yes, we'd saved them from the slaughterhouse. But the calves we weren't able to purchase. So they were killed. I said, oh, that's terrible. I said, well, now you know why we don't eat meat. And she snapped right back, but Jesus ate meat, and so on. So what can be done? Hare Krishna.
More things in the chat. Saraswati Mataji writes, Pranams Param Puja Gurudev and all the Vaishnavas. The Muslims eat halal meat/food, and Jewish eat kosher. So is that less sinful?
According to their religious principles, yes. But what kind of principle is that, where we kill the father and mother and say some prayers, and then it's less sinful? Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, I believe, what is it? Kali worshippers will do whatever rituals to eat meat, and I believe it's considered in the mode of worship in the mode of ignorance.
Yes. Even they think they're offering to Kali. Prabhupada points out that no, it's not Kali, but it's the ghosts and witches who are attendants of Kali. They're the ones who eat these offerings. In any case, yes, this is in the mode of ignorance, but they won't offer cow's flesh to God. But yes, it's for those who are insistent on eating meat. This Kali worship is there, and it's considered very low. The Yavana means not a particular social section, but those who are meat eaters, they're Yavanas.
It seems to imply then that the worship of the meat eaters is all in the mode of ignorance.
Yes. Yes, what kind of religion is this where we kill our parents and eat them? How degraded. Therefore, even some Christians have, pleaded with their Christian brothers not to eat meat.
We have some more things in the chat. Venkatesh Prabhu writes, it seems that Mahaprabhu gathered thousands of people carrying fire torches and came to the Kazi since his Sankirtan devotees were attacked. But why is the conversation Mahaprabhu started isn't related to it?
No, it is related, but because it's supposed to be on religious grounds. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu questions, what kind of religion is this? he's not going to get into a discussion of the holy name and these things. What kind of religion is this, killing animals? Yeah, Krishna.
More things in the chat. Saraswati Mataji writes, a friend was telling me that killing the animal results in those animals having released hormones/chemicals out of fear, which, when consumed, is harmful physically due to intake of those types of hormones. No idea if true.
I wouldn't know either, but it's not implausible. But in any case, if we found out that this wasn't true, would we eat our father and mother anyway? But it may be true. But if it weren't, we say, well, the latest research shows that there are no harmful hormones released. So if we kill our father and mother, there's no harm. Hare Krishna.
More things in the chat. Praveen Prabhu writes, the modern version of Kazi's argument. Okay, we have a dialogue between Prabhupada and a cardinal. Cardinal Daniel Lowe. Yes, Prabhupada. And when she's old, she cannot give you milk. Therefore, she should be killed. Cardinal Daniel Lowe. Yes, Prabhupada. Is that very good proposal? Yogeshwar translates. Cardinal Danilo. Oi, oi, oi. Yogeshwar. He says, yes, it is. Prabhupada. Eh? Yogeshwar. He says, yes, it is a good proposition. Cardinal Danilo. If the men are hungry, it is the life of men is more important than the life of cow. In the video, one can see the disgust on Prabhupada's face. Prabhupada. But if, under certain circumstances, you are obliged to eat meat, eat the flesh of some lower animals. Don't kill cows.
Yes.
Saraswati Machi writes, wasn't one of the favorite dishes of a pope veal?
Yeah, I don't know. But what can we say? Hare Krishna.
Maharaj,
Yes.
someone perhaps could argue it's a matter of degrees. Even when we harvest vegetables, we're killing many living entities in the process unwittingly. And so perhaps one could say, as long as we're doing our best to serve God, he'll absolve us of our whatever sins we're committing in the process of sustaining ourselves.
Yeah, but let's take it that it's a matter of degree. That because that's there, that even if you pick up a glass of water and put it down again, you're killing some living entities. Even if you walk from here to there, you're killing some living entities. Even if you light a fire to cook, you're killing some living entities. So there's sinful reactions everywhere. But it's a matter of degree. Do you think that because some microbes are inadvertently killed when we pick up a glass of water, therefore it's all right to kill my mother, my father, my child? What do you think? Is it all right? And taking it that we know we have to commit some sins inadvertently, but we try to make that very much less. Not that we go all out. Well, since I have to commit sinful activities, I might as well go whole hog. Or be as barbaric as possible. No. Hare Krishna.
something in the chat from Praveen Prabhu. Ahastani sahastanam apadani chatus padam falguni tatra mahatam jivo jivasya jivanam.
Yes. Those who have no hands are eaten by those who have hands. Those who have no legs are eaten by those who have 4 legs. And in this way, the principle is one living entity is the life of another. That's nature's arrangement. But the human beings don't require to kill animals. The tiger kills some animal. That's nature's arrangement. But for us to kill animals is not required. Hare Krishna.
Okay, nothing more in the chat. Saraswati Machi, would you be able to take the chat from now on?
Yes.
Thanks.
Kaji Kohe, Tomar Yoiche, Ved Puran, Toiche Amar Shastra, Ketava Koran. Kaji replied, as you have your scriptures, called the Vedas and Puranas, we have our scripture, known as the Holy Koran. Purport Chand Kaji agreed to talk with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on the strength of the scriptures. According to the Vedic scripture, if one can support his position by quoting from the Vedas, his argument is perfect. Similarly, when the Muslims support their position with quotations from the Quran, their arguments are also authorized. When Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu raised the question of the Muslims' cow killing and bull killing, Chand Kaji came to the standard of understanding from his scriptures. We find in several places in Chaitanya Charitamrita that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has some discussion with Muslims. In another place, he meets some Pathan soldier, Muslim soldier, and there too there's some discussion on the Quran. Although there Chaitanya Mahaprabhu discussed whether God is personal or impersonal on the basis of the Quran. She Shastre Kohe Pravritti Nivritti Marg Bhed Nivritti Marge Jiva Matra Bodher Nishad. According to the Quran, there are 2 ways of advancement: through increasing the propensity to enjoy and through decreasing the propensity to enjoy. On the path of decreasing attachment, the vritti marg, the killing of animals, is prohibited. Pravritti marge, go bada korite vidhi hoy, shastra agyay bodha koile, nahi papa hoy. On the path of material activities, there is regulation for killing cows. If such killing is done under the guidance of scripture, there's no sin. Purport: the word shastra is derived from the dhatu, or verbal root, shas. Shas dhatu pertains to controlling or ruling. A government's ruling through force or weapons is called shastra. Thus, whenever there is ruling, either by weapons or by injunction, the shas dhatu is the basic principle. Between shastra, ruling through weapons, and shastra, ruling through the injunctions of the scriptures, the better is shastra. Our Vedic scriptures are not ordinary law books of human common sense. They are the statements of factually liberated persons, unaffected by the imperfectness of the senses. Shastra must be correct always, not sometimes correct and sometimes incorrect. In the Vedic scriptures, the cow is described as a mother. Therefore, she's a mother for all time. It is not, as some rascals say, that in the Vedic age she was a mother, but she is not in this age. If Shastra is an authority, cow is a mother always. She was a mother in the Vedic age, and she's a mother in this age also. If one acts according to the injunctions of Shastra, he is freed from the reactions of sinful activity. For example, the propensities for eating flesh, drinking wine, and enjoying sex are all natural to the conditioned soul. The path of such enjoyment is called pravritti marg. The Shastra says, pravrittiresha bhutanam nivrittischa nivrittistu mahapala. One should not be carried away by the propensities of defective conditioned life. One should be guided by the principles of the Shastras. A child's propensity is to play all day long, but it is the injunction of the Shastras that the parents should take care to educate him. The Shastras are there just to guide the activities of human society. But because people do not refer to the instructions of Shastras, which are free from defects and imperfections, they are therefore misguided by so-called educated teachers and leaders who are full of the deficiencies of conditioned life. Omar Bede te ache go badher bani, ote eba go badha kore bara muni. As a learned scholar, the Kaji challenged Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In your Vedic scriptures, there's an injunction for killing a cow. On the strength of this injunction, great sages performed sacrifices involving cow killing.
We have something in the chat box. Gurudev, from Murari Prabhuji. Do you know if there are Muslims that are vegetarian, like some Christian sects are?
I don't know. I don't know if the Sufis are supposed to be vegetarians. Prabhin says, yes, he knows of, I guess, such sects. I'm not sure about the Druze also in Israel and Lebanon. Prabhu kohe, Bede kohe, Gobadha Nishad, Oteba Hindu Matra, Na Kore Gobadha. Refuting the Kaji's statement, the Lord immediately replied, the Vedas clearly enjoin that cows should not be killed. Therefore, every Hindu, whoever he may be, avoids indulging in cow killing. Purport. In the Vedic scriptures, there are concessions for meat eaters. It is said that if one wants to eat meat, he should kill a goat before the goddess Kali and then eat its meat. Meat eaters are not allowed to purchase meat or flesh from a market or slaughterhouse. There are no sanctions for maintaining regular slaughterhouses to satisfy the tongues of meat eaters. As far as cow killing is concerned, it is completely forbidden. Since the cow is considered a mother, how could the Vedas allow cow killing? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu pointed out that the Qazi's statement was faulty. In the Bhagavad Gita, there's a clear injunction that cows should be protected. Krishigo Raksha Vanijam Vaishya Karma Subhavajam. The duty of Vaishyas is to produce agricultural products and trade and give protection to cows. Therefore, it is a false statement that the Vedic scriptures contain injunctions permitting cow killing. Jayādvaita pade jodi, tobe mare prani, ved purane ache hena, agya bani. In the Vedas and Puranas, there are injunctions declaring that if one can revive a living being, one can kill it for experimental purposes. Ateva jorad gaba, mare munigon, vede montre, siddha kore, tahar jivan. Therefore, the great sages sometimes killed old cows, and by chanting Vedic hymns, brought them back to life for perfection. Jorad gaba han, yuba, hoy ar bara, tate tar bodha nahe, hoy upakaram. Killing and rejuvenation of such old and invalid cows was not truly killing, but an act of great benefit. Kali kale taiche shokti nahika brahmane, ataeb go bata keha na kore ekone. Formerly, there were powerful Brahmins who could make such experiments using Vedic hymns. But now, because of the Kali Yuga, Brahmins are not so powerful. Therefore, the killing of cows and bulls for rejuvenation is forbidden. Ashramedham gavalam ham sannyasam palapaitrikam devarena sutotpatim kalau pantra vivarjayet. In this age of Kali, 5 acts are forbidden: the offering of a horse in sacrifice, the offering of a cow in sacrifice, the acceptance of the order of sannyas, the offering of oblations of flesh to the forefathers, and a man's begetting children in his brother's wife. This is a quotation from the Brahma Vaivarta Puran, Krishna Janmakanda, 185, 180. Tomara Jayādvaita nada Vadamadhrasar Norak hoite tomar nahika nishtar. Since you Muslims cannot bring killed cows back to life, you are responsible for killing. Therefore, you are going to hell. There's no way for your deliverance. Go ange yatat loma tota shahasra vatsar go badhi rodava madhye pache nirantar. Cow killers are condemned to rot in hellish life for as many thousands of years as there are hairs on the body of the cow. Toma shabar shastra karta sheha branta hoilo na jani shastra marma vaiche agyadilo. There are many mistakes and illusions in your scriptures. Their compilers, not knowing the essence of knowledge, gave orders that were against reason and argument. Shuni stabta hoilo kaji nahish pure bani vichariya kohe kaji parabhava mani. After hearing these statements by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Kaji, his arguments stunned, could not put forward any more words. Thus, after due consideration, Kaji accepted defeat and spoke as follows. Purport. In our practical preaching work, we meet many Christians who talk about statements of the Bible. When we question whether God is limited or unlimited, Christian priests say that God is unlimited. But when we question why the unlimited God should have only one son and not unlimited son, they are unable to answer. Similarly, from a scientific point of view, the answers of the Old Testament, New Testament, and Quran to many questions have changed. But a Shastra cannot change at a person's whim. All Shastras must be free from the 4 defects of human nature. The statements of Shastras must be correct for all time. Tumiye kohile pandit shez socha hoy adhunika amar shastra vichar saha noy. My dear Nimai Pandit, what you have said is true. Our scriptures have developed only recently, and they are certainly not logical and philosophical. Yes.
You need more one.
That's Purport. The Shastras of the Yavanas, or meat-eaters, are not eternal scriptures. They've been fashioned recently, and sometimes they contradict one another. Scriptures of the Yavanas are 3, the Old Testament, the New Testament, and the Quran. Their compilation has a history. They are not eternal like the Vedic knowledge. Therefore, although they have their arguments and reasonings, they are not very sound and transcendental. As such, modern people advanced in science and philosophy deem these scriptures unacceptable. Sometimes Christian priests come to us inquiring, why are our followers neglecting our scriptures and accepting yours? But when we ask them, your Bible says, do not kill, why then are you killing so many animals daily? They cannot answer. Some of them imperfectly answer that the animals have no souls. But then we ask them, how do you know that animals have no souls? Animals and children are of the same nature. Does this mean that the children of human society also have no souls? According to the Vedic scriptures, within the body is the owner of the body, the soul. In the Bhagavad Gita it is said, Dehi nosmin yata dehe, komaram yovanam jara, tata dehantara praptir dhirastatranamukiti. As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body, from boyhood to youth to old age, soul similarly passes into another body at death. Self-realized soul is not bewildered by such a change. As the soul is within the body changes through so many forms. There's a soul within the body of every living creature, whether animal, tree, bird, or human being. And the soul is transmigrating from one type of body to another. When the scriptures of the Yavanas, namely the Old Testament, New Testament, and Quran, cannot properly answer inquisitive followers, naturally those advanced in scientific knowledge and philosophy lose faith in such scriptures. The Kaji admitted this while talking with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Kaji was a very intelligent person. He had full knowledge of his position, as stated in the following verse.
We have a question, Guru Maharaj, from Murari Prabhuji. Is it worth encouraging people in religions that endorse cow slaughter since it's so sinful? Is it something really better than nothing in this case?
I don't follow the question. Can you repeat it?
Yes. Is it worth encouraging people in religions that endorse cow slaughter since it's so sinful? That's the first part of the question.
Is it worth encouraging them?
Yeah, is it worth encouraging people? I guess encouraging them not to, because those religions endorse cow slaughter.
Yes, Prabhupada. Of course, Prabhupada, interestingly, he would challenge them on this point of meeting, but the point seems to be more, I think, not just, well, maybe I shouldn't speculate, but Prabhupada would pick this point with them, that at least you should stop killing before we go on to higher theological issues. But his point seemed to be not just to persuade them to stop killing, but then to go on from there to higher understanding. But that higher understanding is hardly accessible when one is killing animals. Yes.
We have another question from Banu and Kanti. How can we better understand that realized souls are not bewildered by the changing of bodies? That's the first part of the question. And the second is, how exactly is the experience explained to be different than that of the conditional souls?
The experience?
Of the soul not being bewildered by the changing of bodies. That self-realized souls are not bewildered.
How can we understand that they're not bewildered? Well, first we can just take it in Krishna's authority. Krishna says they're not bewildered. We can take it that way. But we also understand from their behavior, from their statements also, that they're not bewildered by death, especially the biggest change. One is changing from childhood to youth to old age. All right. But death is another change. The ordinary materialistic person is totally bewildered by such change. He doesn't know what to make of death. He tries to avoid death by any means. When there's death, he laments and laments because he's bewildered. But the self-realized person is not bewildered. All right. Just as Caitanya said, a change of service. So why should we be bewildered?
And the second part of the question is, how exactly is the experience explained to be different than that of the conditional souls?
Not practical. Just probably gave the example of Socrates. He was condemned to death by drinking hemlock poison. And he just said, all right. And his followers were trying to arrange for ways for him to escape. No, why? That means he was unaffected. He was not bewildered. So that's practical. How should we understand them in this way? and they're not afraid of death. That they know that this simply is another change of body, another change of body. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj. A little, I guess, curious. I see Prabhupada's way of presenting logical arguments is very, very powerful and unique. He doesn't just quote verses. He actually drills down into like fundamentally what someone's value system is. And I've kind of been curious about that approach to preaching because I don't see it or really see it emphasized outside of certain devotees. Caitanya Charan, Prabhu, as well as the way that you present philosophy. And I'm wondering, we're not necessarily meant to debate people as much as just to try to bring them to Krishna consciousness. But yeah, Prabhupada was like, life comes from life, with, Bhakti Swarup Damodar and other presentations very much was heavily, even the purport, invested in presenting Krishna consciousness in a very like logical, systematic way. I'm curious how to develop that mindset. Is it really worth it? Should we just focus on giving people books? And I've always wondered about how to think about this approach that Prabhupada has to really presenting it with these really logical arguments, drilling down, versus just quoting verses at people. Mostly what.
Yeah, just Prabhupada's method was combination. First, he would have two things, the verse and then the conclusion to which the verse is pointing. Not just quoting a string of verses, but what does the verse mean? What is the implication of the verse? What's practical application of the verse? It wasn't just a theoretical verse from some old book, but it was applied knowledge, realized knowledge. I don't know what else you would want me to say about it.
I guess that's just it. If it's realized, then it comes out that way. Besides that, it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, and some different, it's not that there's only one way to present something. Sometimes Prabhupada would be smashing, sometimes he might be tolerant. It tended toward more the former than the latter. But he could be sometimes, what's the word? I wouldn't say accommodating because I didn't see that he was accommodating, but he might take different approaches to the same question. But strong. Prabhupada wasn't just trying to make friends. He wouldn't pussyfoot. He had something strong to say, and he said it.
I heard this phrase: "We don't defend Krishna consciousness; we attack." We don't defend.
You know, defend Krishna consciousness, we attack. I didn't hear that from Prabhupada, but
It wasn't the quote I heard from him. I think I heard it. We don't go on the defense; we attack.
well, that's tactical approach, but we don't need to defend. We're in a strong position. So we don't need simply to defend, yes, we're okay, you're okay. Prabhupada said, our position is we're okay, you're not okay. In that way, Prabhupada was very strong. Yeah, for being quotes, Shastra, Yukta, Chanipano, Varvarta, Shritanishtrayaha, Krodha Shraddho, Gariya, Sa, Bhakta Uttama Mata. Uttama Bhakta, first class devotee, strong knowledge and strong faith.
Guru Maharaj, we have 3 minutes left. Should we move on
No
to...
one was chanting Hare Krishna.
Is there somebody there that would like to lead the closing kirtan?
Would you like to lead the closing kirtan? Okay. I'm sending Guru's there.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Om Vishnupad Purnamanta Pradipradjukacharya Stotra Sri Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopinath, Sham Kun Radha Kun Giri Govardhan Ki Jai, Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Navadip Dham Ki Jai, Jagannath Puri Ki Jai, Ganga Mai Ki Jai, Jamana Mai Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you to the Vaishnavas for our opening and closing kirtan. Thank you, Guru Maharaj, and thank you to all the Vaishnavas for joining our Sangha. Our Bhagavatam class will start at the same time. His Holiness Jayādvaita Maharaj Shri Ki Jai.
The Prabhupada ki jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo.
Hare Krishna.